Hi, my name is Lucinda Garvey, and this is my lesson on word sorts with vowel patterns AI and AY. This would be used in a first grade classroom. Essential question is demonstrate an ability to sort words by their visual patterns and vowel sounds. Materials are going to be the word sort, glue, scissors. Glue we would use later in the week when we finalize this. This lesson will be something that I would introduce on the beginning of the week. With word sorts, students learn by doing. They compare, they contrast, they manipulate, they analyze, formulate, creating just a few words to describe what the student is doing during a word sort. So the procedures. Number one, introduce the vowel pattern and ask students to cut words apart and sort the words under the headers as either having an AI or an AI or an AY pattern. There are headers that I provide for them. I also provide the header oddball because I love to throw in some sounds that aren't in this pattern to see if students can identify it. And usually it's the short vowel of the vowel that we're working on. Number two, after sorting the words, we talk about the patterns and the words. What do you notice about the long A spelling in the first column or in the second column? When was AI pattern used? When was AY pattern used? So what generalization or rules can you form after studying some of these words and the categories that you put them in? And some answers may be the AI sound is in the middle of the word, and the long AY sound I'll find at the end of the word. And this is when some of those words that I described in the beginning will come into play. Students will have lots of different questions, analyzing them and coming up with different answers. While after we talk about them, I'll have my Promethean board up with the headers on the Promethean board. And at this point, we kind of go through the words. I ask them to give me some of their words from their categories, and I list them on the board. Some students may not at this point know what the words mean. So like, for example, the word grain, they may not know what that means. So I might have a visual for them to show them about that. We'll talk about the meaning. I'll use it in a sentence, and I'll do this with any of the words. Braid, that was one that came up when I did the sort. Some of them didn't know what that was. So we talk about the meanings and we use them in sentences. Again, this is when a lot of different questions will come up. We'll brainstorm as well and see if we can add some new words to our patterns. And this is a great time when kids will give me long A words that may have the A consonant magic E, and then we can talk about the spelling and how it's a little different. At that point, when we're all finished with that, kids will shuffle their word sort one more time, and they will re-sort them. After they're done sorting them and reading their words on their own, they will turn to a partner and they will read them to each other. They will then take their word sort, put it in a baggie, and they keep this in their toolkit for later word sorts that we do throughout the week. And we work with these at least 2 or 3 more times before I'll assess them. So the assessment for the word sorts after using these throughout the week to reinforce that vowel pattern, usually on that day before, I'll do a little test with 5 words, and they'll do this on a piece of paper, and I will call out the sounds I'll call out the words, and they will have to decode that and sound that out and spell that word on a piece of paper. So at this point, I'm usually observing, I'm walking around, I'm taking notes, I'm seeing what student has mastered this and what students are still struggling and may need some small group help. And that is my word sort lesson. Thanks so much.